How many people have heard of Cristabelle Braden? A few hands, all right. Well, for those of you who have heard her music, you know that we are in for a very special treat. Cristabelle Braden is a singer, songwriter, a speaker on brain injury, and the founder of Hope After Head Injury. After suffering a traumatic brain injury as a young teen, she has grown to overcome barriers that were never dreamed possible, including graduating from college, releasing 3 albums of original music, and touring the country as a singer and speaker on brain injury. She never wrote a song before her brain injury, but within the first month of recovery, songs started pouring out of her. All of this has given Cristabelle a great resolve to use music to share her hope-filled story of rehabilitation from brain injury as a way to encourage and empower others going through similar circumstances. So now we're going to transition into a very special musical performance from Cristabelle Braden. Can we give her a round of applause?
I'm so excited to be here, and it was funny, as I was watching that, I was thinking, isn't that how brain injury survivors' brains feel, like all the time? It's like you know what you're supposed to do, and you're like trying to do it, but like, it just like is not working, and then you have little moments where it's like, yes, okay, I can do this, and then all of a sudden it's a black screen. You're like, I don't even know why I walked into this room. You know, like, I don't even know. You know, you're trying to think of the right word to say, and then all of a sudden, you're like, nope, it's not coming, not today. So you have to reroute and figure out a different solution. So it's just funny. How many survivors of brain injury do we have in here tonight? Can we just give a round of applause for all of our brain injury survivors here tonight? You know, I think that brain injury survivors are some of the most special people in the world. And I had a traumatic brain injury a little over 10 years ago. And at the time, you know, doctors were telling my family I would most likely never finish high school. It happened from playing the game Red Rover at my church's youth group. And when it was my turn to play the game, they said, Red Rover, send Cristabelle on over. And that's the last thing I remember for about a year and a half. But I've been told what happened, so when I ran, all the boys on my team decided to pull a prank and run behind me and rush the other team, and I ended up hitting my head on the cement wall. My head bounced off the floor. I was unconscious, they're not sure how long, but it was enough time for the kids to come around and first think that I was pulling a prank, you know, why I wasn't getting up, and then they went and got the adults, and they looked me over, and they said I was fine. One of the leaders was a nurse, and they looked me over, and they put me back in the games and decided not to call my parents. And the thing about brain injury is it doesn't always present right away. So the night that it happened, I seemed totally normal, but what we didn't know was that there was pressure building up inside of my skull. So over the next 3 days, I got steadily worse, and by 3 days after it happened, I couldn't walk straight. I had blurry vision, I couldn't hold conversation, and I was functioning around the level of a small child. I had to relearn how to get dressed because I couldn't remember what order my clothes went on. So I'd be trying to put my socks on over my shoes going, this thing totally goes on my foot. You know, like I know this goes on my foot, but trying to put it on over my shoes or putting pants on backwards or, you know, trying to put on a shirt and like, it has 3 holes in the top. That's confusing. I couldn't even figure out if the armhole was supposed to go over the head or it was just like everything got all mixed up. And short-term memory loss, I would literally forget that I ate breakfast in the morning and end up eating 4 or 5 bowls of cereal because my stomach and my brain just decided they didn't want to be friends anymore. They stopped talking. And that was really inconvenient for me because I never knew if I was hungry or full. I just didn't remember eating. And so my mom said that it was at that point she learned to pick her battles, you know. And I'd eat a couple bowls of cereal in the morning. I'd end up putting the milk away in the pantry and the cereal away in the refrigerator, you know. And everything just became all sorts of confusing. And I remember early on in the brain injury process just feeling totally hopeless. Like I didn't understand why every moment was so hard. And that's something that, unless you're a brain injury survivor or caregiver or someone close, you don't realize, but brain injury affects every moment of every day. And all the little things that once seemed, you know, simple all of a sudden become a big challenge and a big task. Such as, trying to unload the dishwasher. I couldn't even remember where things would go, and I'd put cups with the bowls and forks with the knives, and it's like, I know it's not right, but I don't know exactly what to do. So in that moment, you just kind of freeze and freak out and just go, okay, I'll just put this here, because you know you're supposed to know, but you don't. And then in those moments, I remember I would just get so like down on myself, because it's like, I'm supposed to know this, but I don't. It's like that video, like I'm trying to work, but it's just not working. And it can be so frustrating. And I remember feeling like I was never gonna be more than just a brain injury. And I was never gonna get beyond this. And I know so many survivors have felt that way. And, I just love to encourage, I just want to encourage you that I just heard about so many incredible survivors that are doing things. What she said, man, I was like getting tears in my eyes, because, the thing about brain injuries, you can't always see it on the outside, and when she was sharing about, how she was able to do this again, I was just like, you go, girl, like that's awesome. And it's all these things, like we have to learn how to celebrate the victories. And I think at Brain Injury Services, what I'm hearing tonight is you guys celebrate all the victories, and no victory is too small to celebrate, So I want to just thank you for inviting me here tonight, and I've been inspired so far. But the thing is, it's really easy to feel down and discouraged and like there's never going to be more than a brain injury. And so this next song I wrote, it's called More to Me. And it's about the struggle of not knowing how there could ever be more to me than this. And so I just want to encourage you today, whether you're a brain injury survivor or not, we all have journeys. We all have stories, and we all have things that we go through. But especially to those who are dealing with brain injury, you're so much more than your brain injury. You're more than any diagnosis. You're more than doctor's visits. You're more than prescriptions. You're more than therapies. You're more than failed relationships and family problems. You're more than headaches and symptoms. You're more than all of that. You're a person with dreams and goals, and you're allowed to have dreams, and you're allowed to have vision. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. I believe that brain injury survivors, we can do anything we put our minds to. We just might have to do it different and a little bit slower, but we can do it. So, yeah, you can clap if you want. But as I said, I believe brain injury survivors are some of the most special people in the world, because not many people could get up every day when it's that hard. And we keep going, and every moment that your heart is beating, and every moment that there's breath in your lungs is a victory. Because you're here and you're doing it. So don't ever feel bad, and don't ever put yourself down for having hard days. It's okay to have a hard day, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to struggle, because there's so much more to you than this. The struggles shape us, but they don't define us. So this song is called More to Me. When I first wrote this song, I thought I'd never share it with anybody because it was so personal, and I was just crying the whole time. So I hope that you can relate to it. Who have I become, wrapped up in a memory? Where do I belong? It's been so long, and every time I try to make sense of anything, find that I'm stressed about everything. This isn't who I used to be. When the waves came and when the storm raged, found myself falling into the ground. When the wind blew, that's when it fell through, and I don't know how to turn it around. I know there's more to me than the wreckage you see. There's more to be. I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey. When did I become my own worst enemy? did I go wrong? And start to think that every time I make a mistake on anything, I'll never come back. I'll never be the person that I want to be. When the waves came and when the storm raged, found myself falling into the ground. When the wind blew, that's when it fell through, and I don't know how to turn it around. I know there's more to me than the wreckage you see. There's more to be. I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey. I've had some hard days, had some sleepless nights. I've been afraid of giving up the fight. I'm more than what happened to me, but it's still part of my story. When the waves came and when the storm raged, found myself falling into the ground. When the wind blew, that's when it fell through, and I don't know how to turn it around. I know there's more to me than the wreckage you see. There's more to be. I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey. Thank you so much. You guys are gonna make me cry. You know, it's hard to sing that song without getting emotional, because I think that we've all struggled with feeling like we're never gonna be more than what's happened to us. And when we go through hard circumstances, it's so hard to differentiate our identity from our circumstance. But I want to encourage you, you are a person with dreams and goals, and you were created for a reason. Your life has purpose. If you are still here, if your heart is beating, everyone put your hand on your chest. Feel that beat in your heart. Take a deep breath. Feel that breath in your lungs. If you have a beat in your heart and a breath in your lungs, God is not done with you yet. You're still on the journey, and you have so much to offer the world. You have so much to offer, especially as a brain injury survivor. Do you realize how special that makes you? What you've gone through, first of all, you can use your story to help others that have gone through brain injuries. Because when a brain injury first happens, it is really hard, because all of a sudden you're in this life that you don't know, and you don't really know much about brain injury until it's happened to you, you know? But you have the opportunity to help other people on that journey. And not only that, you can inspire so many others just by being here, just by getting up every day. You are an inspiration. So don't ever lose sight of that. And don't ever let anybody put you down and make you feel like you can't do something. Because let me tell you this, doctors told me I wouldn't finish high school, and I graduated college summa cum laude. So thank you. I stand before you a college graduate. And yes, I had to do it a little differently. I took an extra year in high school. It took me a lot longer. In college, I had accommodations. I went to a really small school. I almost fell apart every single day, but I have that piece of paper. So that's what matters. And we're talking tonight about journeys, right? You know, your journey might look different, but different doesn't mean bad. It just means different. And it's okay. And having a brain injury doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. You just happen to have an injury to your brain. And I love to share this. I think about it like this. You know, some people have an injury to their leg. Some people have an injury to their ankle, and they have trouble walking. Well, some people have an injury to their brain, and they have trouble thinking. That's all it is. You're not stupid. You're not dumb. There's nothing wrong with you. You just happen to injure a certain area. Everybody gets injuries. There's nothing wrong with you. You are a person with a brain injury. You're not a brain injury with a person. That's who you are. So, in that video that we were going to show, it shows survivors from all over. I have the opportunity to travel and share with so many different brain injury groups, and there's some people here tonight I met when I did a concert at Camp Bruce McCoy, so it was awesome to see you guys again. And I have the opportunity to meet so many survivors and to hear their stories, and let me tell you this. there's always hope. I never wrote a song before my brain injury, and I started to write songs in rehab therapy, and the first time somebody asked me for a CD, I literally thought they were crazy. I was like, I put my pants on backwards this morning. Why would I make a CD? Like, that makes no sense. Like, you have the wrong person. Like, I just like to write songs. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And here I am, nationally touring singer-songwriter. So you never know the road where it's going to take you, but you have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to keep putting one foot in front of the other and to keep reaching out and try new dreams and new goals. You know, you might have a creative talent after your brain injury you didn't know about. So try painting, drawing, coloring, poetry, songs, whatever it is. Do something that you never did before, because you never know unless you try. So this last song I'm going to sing for you, it's called Let the Sun In. It's from my new CD called Hope Survives. Well, new, it came out last year, but I feel like it's new. Does anyone else have trouble with like time after a brain injury? Like time passes and you're like, I don't even remember most days, so like it feels like it's a lot less. But anyway, I do have some CDs available outside. I also have a book based on the song More to Me. It's a prayer journal that I wrote, and it has places to write. And so if you're interested in something like that, I have some of those available outside as well after the event. So, all right, you guys ready? All right, this song's called Let the Sun In. Got a new philosophy, tired of rain surrounding me. Every day is more gray than the last. Some say there's nothing you can do. I found that just isn't true. Keep looking up and soon the storm will pass. When we live a life of love, we know where the light comes from. Today's gonna be a brand new life. Finally gonna get it right. Turn around and let the sun inside. Today, gonna see the end of a rain. Finally gonna make a change. Turn around and let the sun in. Let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Let the sun in. Let the sun in, raindrops falling more like tears. Let the light drive out your fears. No more water on your windowsill. There's so much that you can be. Don't let the rain stop you from seeing. You can shine a city on a hill. When we live a life of love, we know where the light comes from. Today's gonna be a brand new life. Finally gonna get it right. Turn around and let the sun inside. Today, gonna see the end of a rain. Finally gonna make a change. Turn around and let the sun in. Let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Let the sun in. Let the sun in. Don't you worry about rainy days. God is holding you in His grace. With a little love and a little faith, you can let the sun in. Don't worry, don't you worry about rainy days. God is holding you in His grace. With a little love and a little faith, you can let the sun in, yeah. Today's gonna be a brand new life. Finally gonna get it right. Turn around and let the sun inside. Today, gonna see the end of a rain. Finally gonna make a change. Turn around and let the sun in. Let the sun in. All right, I need you guys' help. If I sing, oh, oh, can you guys sing? Let the sun in. Can we try that? Are you guys ready? Let's try it. Ready? Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Let the sun. All right, you guys can do better than that. Do it again. Oh, oh, let the sun in. There we go. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Let the sun in. One more time. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh, let the sun in. Oh, oh.
let the sun in, let the sun in. Thank you so much for having me. And, I'll let you get back to your regularly scheduled program. Thank you so much.